Hello and welcome to another Podcast Pontifications with me, Evo Terra. If you're watching this on video, this is not a podcast. This is a video where I talk about podcasting. If you want the podcast, yes, go to podcastpontifications.com. Yeah, there's like 80, almost 90 episodes now. Crazy. Today I want to get a little philosophical and give you 3 pillars for success for your podcast in 2019. Now, I'm using 3 words here: character, conviction, and conceit. And they don't mean what you think that they mean. Or they don't actually mean the common language that we use with these words today. But bear with me, I promise that it'll make sense in a minute. When you're putting together an episode for your show, or when you look back at past episodes of your show, and you've been wondering, did that really work? Did it really land? Or looking forward, I'm going to do an episode on this. Do I have what I need? Do I have what it's, all of the pieces necessary to make a really, really good show? And there are lots of ingredients. But I think that there are 3 primary pillars to making a good podcast episode. And you have to have all 3 of these. If you don't, it's like a 3-legged bar stool becoming a 2-legged bar stool. That tips over. So we need to have all 3 of these: character, conviction, and conceit. Let me explain what I mean by also using some examples of clients of mine where I've helped them get in this mode. So what do I mean by character? By character, I mean the character that you have individually. I mean character the way that your grandparents thought of the word character. That person has character. That means they're true to themselves. They have authority, yes, but it's not authority that's been granted usually. It's the makeup of the particular person, that this person is truthful and honest and has the character to say what he or she, to really back up what he or she says with what they mean. That's character. You need character. If you have guests on your show, they need character. And you, the podcaster, need to bring that character to the forefront. I'll give you an example of a client of mine who wanted to backtrack about this. This client of mine is very successful. She's a best-selling author, as well as running a very large international business. And after a few episodes of her podcast we've been putting out, she came to me and she said, I think there's too much me. And I've had more than one client tell me this. I want less of my voice and more of my guest, because for whatever reason, I stopped her and said, wait, no. It's that character piece. Your expertise, your brilliance, your authority on a subject matter, and your sense of who you are internally is important. Super important to be a part of the show. You have to bring your character and bring the character out of your guests. That's just an ingredient. You have to have strong character. So she's, by the way, keeping as much of herself in the show as possible. The second part is conviction. I don't mean that as in let's get a conviction from a criminal prosecuting. No, I mean conviction in that which you say if you're a monologue show, or that which your guests say if you have an interview type show. You have to say it with passion. You have to say it with emotion. And you have to convey that passion, emotion. But I don't like those words. I like the word conviction. Because some things really aren't all that passionate that we're talking about here. At least not from the way that we colloquially understand the word passion. I mean conviction. You have to honestly believe the things that you believe. But here's the thing about belief. So I'm starting a new podcast. It's not been launched yet. We're not going to talk about it yet. And our last episode we recorded was crazily enough about alien abduction. I am not passionate about alien abduction. If anything, I am anti-passionate because it's garbage and it's bunk and it's bonus. Oh, did you notice the conviction in my voice coming out there as we talked about this topic? Yeah. Turns out I can have some conviction. And my co-host has conviction. And if you're doing work with a guest, make sure that they bring their conviction to the party. That's got to be that passion. And that can also be very personal. I had another client of mine. This client of mine does an interview show where he's interviewing movie directors. And there was a segment of an interview. It wasn't very long, like 30, 35 seconds, where the host, my client, was kind of gushing a little bit, in his words, over this, the fact that he got this person on and was kind of really excited about not just being on, but also was heaping praise on this person for the way that this director is using Instagram of all really, really strange places. And my client suggested I cut that out of the interview. And I fought back and said, absolutely not. This shows that humanness. This shows that you have some emotional attachment, that you have a conviction about why this person that you're talking to is important and why this person is doing very, very good things. That was a piece of conviction I wanted to have in the show. I wanted that emotion to ring true all the way. And so he did. Kept it in place, right? And the final piece is conceit. I don't mean conceited, although that label has been lumped on me for some strange reason for, 50 years now. No, I mean conceit in the way that we talk about building a story and having the way that we put together a plot. A conceit is where we are headed. The actual conceit, the way it is structured, the way we construct this all together to get to a point. You must have a conceit. It's not enough to have good characters who both have good character on the show, who have conviction about a topic if it just rambles. You need to have a conceit. Every single episode needs to have a point. Now, listen, I get that sometimes you want things to ramble. I understand. That's kind of fun. But I'm talking about people who are serious about podcasting. My clients are serious about using podcasting as a business lever to pull. I'll give you an example of good conceit that works for the audience. I produce a show for a couple of financial advisors. Their show is all about how to run an excellent financial advisor podcast. An excellent financial advisor practice. I'm not a financial advisor. That's not me. And I don't care to run a financial advisor practice, perfectly or not. However, because of the conceit, again, I don't mean conceited, because of the conceit laid out with each particular episode, what I really get out of listening to that episode every single time it comes out is how to run a successful business. So even though the audience is totally not aimed at me, I'm not the right audience, the content is not aimed at me, it's still enough for me to get involved. It also helps the fact that these two hosts and their guests have plenty of conviction about what they are saying because they've done this for years, and they have strong characters. That all rolls in together to make it an enjoyable show, even though I'm the wrong audience. You need all three of these pillars to make your episodes work. If you do it, and by the way, I'm just stealing all this from Aristotle. This is pathos, ethos, and logos. It's the same thing, but just redone for a podcasting world. Each episode needs strong character. Each episode needs to be delivered with conviction, and each episode needs to be constructed with conceit in mind. Then you'll have a persuasive and excellent episode that your audience will love. Now, if you would like some help putting together businessy type podcasts, hey, that's what I do for business professionals, for professional service providers, for influencers. That's what I help them with. I keep them out of the weeds and back doing the things that they do that make them very popular. If you need help with that, get in touch. Evo@podcastlaunch.pro reaches me. You can go to podcastlaunch.pro and check out all the services I currently offer to my clients, new ones coming up in 2019. Thanks again for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with yet another podcast Pontifications. Cheers!